everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wemi, and obviously this is Moments of Love, and today I'm just continuing our first video on our first/second year of homeschool. If you want to know what that means, go watch the previous video. I'm trying to make this short. But I'm going to just get into some quick supplementary texts and books that we are using to get through our upcoming year of homeschool. Some of them have already started and some we haven't started yet. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is the 3-minute gratitude journal for kids. I love this thing. So the 3-minute gratitude journal is exactly what it says. It's for your child to spend 3 minutes reflecting on gratitude, and we really love this. So each morning he fills out the day, the date. He writes down what he's grateful for. He writes down what brought him joy and the best part of the day. So this is what he does. And every now and then they have random pages in there that are a little bit different. Like here's one that says, list 5 things that always make you smile. Here's another random page, act of gratitude, I'm thankful I can. Every single day he has God or Lord as the person who brought him joy. Every single day. Today he challenged himself to write a full sentence. He's been on this kick lately. He's been challenging himself without me prompting him to write sentences. He has a little notebook that I allow him to carry around whenever he wants and write whatever he wants in it. And he's been walking around with it and randomly sitting down and writing sentences because he wants to. So that wraps up our 3-minute journal and how we use that in our homeschool morning. The next part of our supplementary work that we do every day is we do a daily learning notebook. And should this be in a binder? It absolutely should be. But it's not, because binders take up so much space. I might get one of those. Remember those, like, I don't remember what they were called, but we had them back in school where you had like a seam right here and you could slide your paper in and you open it. Anyways, so a folder like that. I might get that for this, but for now what we do is I have a little file folder because I have tons of file folders, and we just use magnets. Essentially a magnet holds the front cover on, and I just put our work in it. And what we do every morning in our morning binder is he starts off with a tally marks sheet where he tallies the days as they go, and he usually makes up for the weekends. When we start on Monday, he'll go back and add the right number of tallies, and then each day he fills in our calendar, our monthly calendar, which also includes the weather for the day. At the start of each month, he writes his name. The reason this is missing is because, as I said, we just switched. I guess we switched to this folder in June. So we switched to this in June. We had a different folder that we were using, the kindergarten morning folder, and then we switched to the elementary morning folder in June. These are the same sheets. I just laminated them so we can use it with dry erase markers instead of printing or having to buy those pockets, because they have those dry erase pockets, but they're expensive, guys. They are very expensive. I have a laminator because of my business, and it's now become the homeschool laminator. But anyways, I just laminate things and we use dry erase markers on it, and it works just as well. So he does this every morning, and then he does this. How many days do you need, or have you been in school? We count in rounds of hundreds. This is our second round of hundreds, so it's technically actually 186 days we've been in school, 188 days that we've been in school, but we didn't have this sheet at the point that we crossed over the 100 mark. We've got temperature and what are you wearing today, and we do what time is it. He checks the time. He does 1 hour before, he does 2 hours from the time, he draws it, then he puts in the date in coins. So that is a morning folder that we do every single morning. Along with that, we do our morning basket work, which just magically showed up on my lap. Good old editing. So in our morning folder, we read our first hands-on Bible. We read a chapter every morning. Well, it's not a chapter, it's a story. We read every morning. We love this Bible. I think we got this Bible from, it might have been Hobby Lobby. I saw it in there. many moons ago, and we just picked it up. It was like $5 or $7. And what I love most about it is at the end of each story, there's action items to do. Now, we don't do all the action items every day because some of the action items involve a lot more work that I'm willing to do during our morning time, because our morning time is mainly for reading. It's not really for doing all kinds of crazy things. So for example, the page that I just showed you guys, it had build in faith. Build a pile of blocks or rocks with your child. If you're able to do this outdoors, pour some water on the pile. Talk about what happened to Elijah's altar and ways you know God is real. Because again, it's a morning reading time, we don't do that. We don't build the blocks, we're not gonna do that. Another thing it has is true or false, right? With your child, look for things that are just pretend, like stuffed animals or play food in a kitchen. Talk about how you know whether something is real or pretend, and how you can tell if God is real or pretend. So something like that, we would do that because that just involves more talking together, right? And then there's a let's talk section. You talk about something amazing you've seen. What does God do that's amazing? So generally every day we always do the let's talk, and then the other two sections, they change day to day. So sometimes we do them and sometimes we don't. And then there's a little prayer that's usually just 1 or 2 sentences that I have him read the prayer to me. And with the stories, we started off where I would read a page, he would read a page. Recently, he's been wanting to read all of it himself. So like this morning, he read the whole story by himself. And we just kind of take that as it goes. I don't fight him on that. If he wants to, he can. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. Along with that, every 2 or 3 times a week, we read from Indescribable, or we have kind of 2 different Bible-ish things we read from that we alternate. We do either Indescribable or we do Children of Color Storybook Bible. Right? It's just reading, and I love the illustrations in this. I just love it. Oh my gosh, look at that. I love it. And Jesus is black in here. Just wanted to put that in there. But yeah, so we do this and we alternate the story. Look, there's Jesus. There's Jesus and Zacchaeus. The Indescribable, it's like a halfway point between the first hands-on Bible and the storybook Bible, in that it takes regular life-ish stories and talks about them used and anchored on a text, a Bible text. It's tying God and science together. This is a way that we do science without our science textbook every morning. We usually start our morning, we read the Bible first, bam. Then we read one of these 2 books, bam. Then we move on to one of 3 books. This is our current rotation, it changes. But currently for the last 2 weeks, it's been all about feelings. I'll show you guys what they look like in a second. What would Danny do school day, and what would Danny do? Those are the 3 books that we alternate between. So the All About Feelings book is an Osborne book. I love Osborne books and I sell Osborne books. Holler at me if you want to get some Osborne books. But this talks about feelings, and especially for a 4-year-old, learning your feelings is very difficult, but very important. So I thought this book was a fantastic way to do that, and he has really taken to it. What we've done from this book, I'm just trying to find the right page here. This page has really resonated with him. So it's how are you feeling? And it gives colors to the feelings. So you're feeling red, you're feeling yellow. There's blue and there's green. There's feeling blue, there's feeling green. Pop quiz, what does red mean? Anger, good job. I'm joking, guys. But yeah, so essentially it goes through like that. And he has really learned to find new words for his feelings through this book. We do it probably twice a week. We'll read it. We'll read a page. We don't read the whole book every day. We'll read a page or 2 a couple of times a week. And I find during the day he's become very good with expressing, Mom, I'm feeling blue today, or I'm feeling red because you're not playing with me. I hear that a lot. But anyways, great book, great resource for discussing feelings, for labeling feelings, for understanding how to deal with your feelings. There's actually a page on here that we refer to quite often in it talks about what to do when you're feeling a certain way, right? So like this is when you're feeling angry. You guys can see that there it suggests doing things like stomping your feet, or stamp around and sing at the top of your voice, go to a quiet place, hug yourself, dance to loud music, bang on a pan, run really fast on the spot. So it just gives them little ideas, and the first one that it gives all the time is you always start by closing your eyes, taking a really deep breath, then let the breath out very slowly, counting to 10 in your head. Then you could bang on a pan, hug yourself, run really fast, and then it lists all those other things. So it's a really fantastic way of talking about and learning and teaching your child how to express their feelings in a constructive way, because I find at this age it's very easy for them to express their feelings in a non-constructive way. Then we do What Should Danny Do? I love this What Should Danny Do series. Again, I don't know how I came across this. I'm gonna guess it was probably the Amazon pit. Again, I don't know. But somehow this came across my radar, and I'm so glad it did. It's The Power to Choose. So it's essentially a choose your own adventure book that focuses on making good choices, which is something that we all know toddlers, I guess it's not a toddler anymore, preschoolers struggle with, is making good choices. All kids struggle with it, adults struggle with it. But this essentially goes through the stories. There's 9 stories in this, and there's 8 stories in this, and there's a third one that's coming out. I think it's What Should Danny Do Vacation, that's coming out in September, and I'm going to be grabbing that for him for sure. So as I said, to choose your own adventure book based on the power to choose. So here we go. So here we've got Danny's mad because his brother used his, essentially looks like his favorite plate for breakfast. And it asks, what should Danny do? And there's always a good choice and there's always a bad choice for each point of question. And you make the good choice or the bad choice, you flip to that page. You guys know how Choose Your Own Adventure stories work. But that's how this book works. It's really excellent because throughout our day, we do try to remind him to use his power to choose, to make good choices, because our choices affect our day. Our choices have consequences. So this book, these 2 books have been really great in reinforcing those lessons for him, and I highly recommend them. And I think they have one that features a female character. Don't quote me on that, but I think I saw one on Amazon with a female character. I will link it below if there is. And the third book that's coming out, it's not on Amazon. I saw it on their website because I was so curious, because he was like, Mom, I want more Power to Choose books. And I couldn't find any on Amazon. So I Googled it and I ended up on their website and ended up finding, the website is whatshoulddannydo.com. Ended up there and I found that there's a third one they're coming out with. So check these out. They're really excellent books. I highly recommend them. Love them, love them, love them. And that is generally how we start our mornings. And we have some other books on tap that we will be tackling and kind of swapping out some Danny books as time goes on over the year. I've got Listening to My Heart. This was one that was recommended by Tori Oglesby. This was recommended from her. So I grabbed that. We actually have a few Who Is. I love the Who Is series. I love it. I am so in love with it. We have a few of them in-house already. I ordered about 9 more of them on Amazon recently because I want us to add this to our morning read aloud time. I want us to start going through people's individual stories and learning about these people, and we'll cycle through them, I'm sure, many times over the years, and I'm sure each time we read it, he'll retain something different and new about each person that we learn about. We have Barack Obama. We currently already own Michael Jordan. I ordered a ton more. I ordered He Loves Marie Curie. He doesn't love her, but he's learned about her on Xavier Riddle and the Secret Museum. Is that what his name is? Anyways, about him, he learned about her on there, so he kind of, you know, knows of her. I ordered one with Serena and Venus Williams. We've got Michelle Obama coming in. I've got the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Gandhi, Muhammad Ali. I have all of them coming in. I am super excited to get those in our rotation. I also did purchase the Who Was History of the World. I have that on hand as well. And this is 150 Who Was subjects in the book. If you've never seen them, this is what they look like. And with this one, I believe it's just one page summarizing a historical event. And my goal with this is we'll read the story, we'll talk about it, and I'm gonna try to do my own research before reading the story so I can fill in more historical knowledge for him after we read it and discuss it together. We have a lot of books that we read throughout the day. Just a few of them are here. There's about 30 more of them that are in his room because they can't all fit here. But we've got like my first science book there. We have a book on flags. We have a lot of Usborne books that we used to learn from. He loves to lift the flaps and things like that. He's obsessed with space right now. My goal is to purchase the space unit from, what is her name? The Gather Round Homeschool unit. I think there's a sale they're having starting today, and I haven't checked out yet. Let me go check out after this. But my plan is to purchase her space unit and use that to teach him. It's not necessarily to teach, because I think he's learned a lot from the books. He knows all the planets, he knows their order, he knows the name of a few of the moons out there. I know zero, I know our moon, and that's it. He knows like at least 4 moon names that I've never even heard of. So I'm hoping that with her unit he can actually start to write out the name of the moons and things like that. Is my goal, is to get him to dig a little deeper into what he's already interested in. I love this book. It's just got the flags. It's very simple. There's really nothing much to it other than just flags. And my goal here is, with this book specifically, is to get him to just draw a flag and color it. It's pretty simple, right? My goal is to tell him, like, over time, it's become like a little fun game we play where I say, okay, take the book and go find Nigeria and draw the flag for me and color it in. And I'm hoping he'll, pick up the book, flip through, know what continent Nigeria is on. And there's the flags of the world to color here. This one's a little bit more detailed than he probably cares for. But it's also just a great additional resource to have in our geography studies as time goes on over the years. So we also use these flashcards. They are pocket flashcards from Trend, is their name? Community Helpers. He really enjoys it. And Animals. He enjoys, but not as much, because I find with the Animals set, there's a lot of obscure animals in here, so he doesn't really get it. Versus Community Helpers, it's very easy to see these jobs around you, to understand what these jobs are in your daily life, and to relate to them. So he really, really loves this. I highly, highly recommend Community Helpers. Let me take one out and show you guys how they work. They come in sets of 2, and you can play games with them and stuff. So here's like nurse. So each occupation has 2 cards. You got your, let's start with the nurse. You've got your occupation name, and it'll have a picture of what the occupation, what someone looks like in that occupation. And then on the back of that, you have what your interests are generally, the requirements, and what the duties of the job are. And then here you have pictures of the equipment that you use on the job. And then on the back, you have major equipments are usually defined out, and then they'll usually list a few other tools that you use to get your job done. And that exists for all the occupations. So some games you can play with it is, take out all the cards, separate the green and blues, and match them back together. And they outlined a few different ways you can use it to play games. There's 27 different careers and tools in one pack. 50 animal cards, and it's just 1 card per animal. You just have a rattlesnake, and you've got your information on the back. And these will be great for, they're great for introducing animals, but they're also great, I think, for later as they get older and you start to learn more about, reptiles specifically, and amphibians and things like that, and grouping and classifications, and maybe doing unit studies on animals. Great way of having just a single flashcard that they can use to have all the information they need and kind of dive deeper and go from there. But that's it. That wraps up my video today, talking about our supplementary books in our upcoming year of homeschool. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, let me know that you like this content. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.